Welcome to the Core Experience, your connection to community, business, and the people who make it all happen with your host, Brandon Suba.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Core Experience. My name is Brandon Suba, your host here on the Core Experience. I'm a treasury relationship manager by day. I'm going to say podcaster by night, but you can see in the background if you're watching us here on YouTube, this is during the day, so it's not really a nightly gig that I have here. But this is an exciting podcast for many reasons, but I want to share the most exciting one is this is a first for the Core Experience, and this is the same guest with the same nonprofit that will be on the Core Experience for the second time. And Courtney, we did have another nonprofit come on twice, but they sent other people. You are our star that's only been on here twice. So super big things. But Courtney is with the Newhouse in Kansas, and we had a podcast we did back in May 2024. So I'll do the general intro here and we'll kind of introduce ourselves briefly. But if you want to learn more about the last podcast, go back and listen to that one and then jump in here and we're going to get you caught up to date on all the great stuff that has happened in the last few months. So our guest today is Courtney Thomas with she is the Newhouse president and CEO. And then it's a Kansas podcast without Jacqueline Steele, who is a Core Bank AVP Banking Center Manager in Kansas City. And the Newhouse is more than a domestic violence shelter. It is the catalyst to true healing and where survivors of domestic violence become empowered to achieve their full potential. If hurt people, imagine what healed people can do. So Courtney, Jacqueline, happy to have you on the Core Experience today.
Thank you for having us. It's exciting to be back again.
So again, just a real quick, brief introduction. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves here. I gave you the kind of boring one. So Courtney, we'll start with you. Go ahead and tell us a little bit more about what you do at the Newhouse.
So Newhouse is Kansas City's first and oldest domestic violence shelter. We're a 92-bed emergency shelter providing safety, therapy, case management, legal services. We have a full-time early learning center for young children and school-aged programming for the older children, all to support families where home is not a safe place. I am soon to celebrate my 5-year anniversary in December, and it has just really been an absolute honor to serve this mission, to serve the people that are calling our shelter their temporary home.
And Jacqueline, tell us a little bit about your involvement at Core Bank.
Newhouse was awarded an Impact Award from Core Bank, and I had the pleasure of presenting that to Courtney and to Newhouse, which was a very exciting opportunity for me. Prior to that, I did not have involvement with Newhouse, and being able to go and meet them and tour the location and see all of the amazing things that they offer the survivors that come there, to me, it was just such an amazing experience that this is an organization that I want us to get involved in, that I want to share their message. I want to be able to have drives for them and help promote what they do and how they impact the greater Kansas City area with this unbelievable full package of resources and support that they have for their survivors. So I'm excited that Core Bank feels just as passionate as I do and wants to do that as well.
I always say we like to put the community in community bank, and I think this relationship here is a great example of that. So Courtney, how many people/pets are currently being served at the Newhouse?
We have 62 residents in shelter right now. More than half of them are actually children and 12 pets who are living with us right now. We truly believe that pets are part of the family. We know statistics tell us, survivors tell us when they arrive, many people would leave sooner if they had a place for their pet to go. Oftentimes pets are used as a means of control or to maintain control over people. Sometimes pets are harmed in the domestic violence situations as well. And we never want that to be a barrier for people getting to safety. So we allow the pets to come into shelter. They live in the rooms with their owners. We have amazing accommodations outside for them to get exercise. We support their medical care and their healing as well.
So again, I love how you guys really embrace that it is the whole community that you bring in for rescue, not just nitpicking. And it sounds like, are you guys at full capacity or you still have some rooms?
Always at full capacity. I mean, it is literally, Adam, a one in, one out scenario. And what is really sad and staggering, and many people in the community are not aware of, is last year, for example, the community, Kansas City Metro, served about 8,400 people who needed domestic violence support. Sadly, almost 22,000 calls for help went unmet due to a lack of bed space and resources. So the need is extraordinarily prevalent in our community. When you look at the Kansas City crime data for this year alone, so January through the end of October, domestic violence is the second highest offense that is responded to in our community. Assault is number one, but domestic violence specifically is number two.
So in May, we were able to, Core Banking KC held the summer camp donation drive, and now in September, it will be an everyday essential drive. What are you looking for when it comes to the everyday essentials?
So when people come into shelter, oftentimes they are arriving just with the clothes on their bodies. They don't have the regular things that we all become accustomed to in our home. So hygiene products, whether that's shampoo, body soap, formula for children, diapers. We provide all of those things to our residents. And I will say one of the things that is most needed is bedding, pillows, sheets, a bedspread for families. When they come in, we want to give them a new set, not something that someone else has used that doesn't feel great to folks when they come in. And so those bed in a bags are amazing for us because it provides a family everything that they need to get set up that evening to get a good night rest. And then as I mentioned, all of the hygiene products, things like bedroom slippers, pajamas, items that a person or a child can just spend some time being creative. So a crossword puzzle book, a word search book, a coloring book with pencils, things that are personal and allow them to kind of have some escape time to just focus on themselves. Things like Play-Doh, you think about that in a welcome kit for a child, a book, a stuffed animal, a blanket, the things that, again, are just so common to us in our own homes that have not been disrupted.
Courtney, it looked like October, quite a busy time in your world. So October shine a light on domestic violence, as October was Domestic Violence Awareness Month. What were some of the things that you did or partaked in October?
So this is a multi-year campaign. We were so excited this year. It was bigger than ever before. So we celebrate the strength of survivors by asking the community to take a purple light bulb that we will send to them and use it inside their home or outside their home as a way to shine a light on survivors and their strength and their resilience, and most importantly, their future. Last year, we were able to hand out 500 light bulbs. The first week of the campaign, we handed out all 500 and had to order 300 more. But what was really amazing is about 24, actually more than 24, businesses and organizations in Kansas City lit up purple. So imagining big buildings, downtown, there are too many to name, and I don't want to name some and leave out others, but you think of all of the big buildings that you see as you're driving through downtown and imagine them all lit in purple. It was really amazing and sent a very loud message to the people in our shelter, but also in our community, that they're seen, that they're supported, they're worthy, they matter, and that healing is possible.
I was able to receive one of those light bulbs, and I loved being able to do that and be a part of that. And all of the people that I saw flooding LinkedIn and different social media platforms with the light bulb, just getting that message out there that domestic violence is something that we need to be more aware of and things that we really need to handle differently and better.
October 17th was National Day of Action. Was there anything special, Courtney, that you guys did on that day?
So National Day of Action is when the city lit up purple.
Okay.
So that was the big unveiling, and encouraged everybody to drive through the city and take a look and see all the purple shining. But it also is just a way for people to identify as an ally and a supporter of survivors, knowing that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men will experience some form of domestic violence in their lifetime. If it's not you that's in that situation right now, you can be assured it's someone that you know, someone that you love. And oftentimes, people are suffering in silence. It's not something people openly talk about. And you wouldn't know if I had been held hostage in my home the night before just by looking at me. Society tells us, oh, well, people that are abused will have a black eye, or they'll have bruises, or they'll have broken bones. And what we're trying to communicate is that the wounds of domestic violence are far beneath the surface. And more often than not, you cannot see it with the naked eye, and that those are the biggest and deepest scars to heal.
And Jacqueline, you guys have been involved with the organization for a while, but I think there were a couple examples you wanted to give in the podcast today.
Well, I just love that there's so many opportunities for volunteer events to help promote the need to break the silence for domestic violence. And Core Bank was able to participate in their Monster Dash, which was a 5K that they had here in Kansas City. And it was kind of fun because a lot of people dressed up in Halloween costume. It was on October 26th, so just before Halloween. And just another way to promote and support and let the survivors that are there know that we care and that we recognize that this is a huge problem and there needs to be more support for it. So being able to participate in that, we handed out water at the run, and it was just so much fun. All of the different people that were wearing their costumes, there was all different walks of life showing their support, and it was just beautiful. So that was a fun thing to do. And then we will also be having our holiday drive for Newhouse in November. So it will be November 20th through December 4th. We will be a drop-off location again where you can drop off gifts for the children and families that are living at Newhouse. They have updated their Amazon wish list with some of those items that they'll be needing, and they'll continue to update that with their needs so that we can go in there. You can order through Amazon and have it shipped directly to Newhouse, or you can drop off your items at our Core Bank location in Kansas City, which is currently at 7400 College Boulevard, Suite 200. So we'll be accepting those all during that time.
And then we debated how to say this properly. Gala. I've heard of many different ways. But there was Imagine a Day Without Domestic Violence gala. So either of you can share about that one.
Go ahead, Jacqueline, you can kick it off as a guest. What was your experience?
I was pleasantly surprised at the number of people that showed up to support Newhouse. I believe there was over 1,300 people there. The tables were full, the rooms were full. Everyone in attendance was alert, paying attention, listening. The stories that were shared of the survivors and the strength, and just them being brave enough to share their stories in a room full of strangers, knowing that they were accepted and safe. For me, it was a very beautiful experience to see that. And I was grateful to be able to attend and just to hear the mission, the plans, and to see that people really do care. And it was beautiful.
It was an amazing night. As Jacqueline mentioned, over 1,300 people that came together that said, together we can work to break the cycle, to shatter the barriers that feed the cycle of abuse. And we raised over $1.1 million,
Wow.
which is a tremendous, it's hard to put into words the gravity of impact that those dollars will have. And oftentimes people are like, oh my gosh, you raised $1 million at your event. You need nothing. It represents a fifth of our budget. So to put it in perspective, it's a big night. We raise a lot of money, but in order to do the work that we do every day and be that safe place and provide services, all of which are free of charge to the community, our budget is over $5.5 million.
Quite the event. And you guys have been just doing so much. Awesome that Core Bank can be part of it. Jacqueline, boots on the ground, being involved. And Courtney, this is the second time we've got to spend time together. And it's just an amazing organization and all the hard work you're putting in to just keep it rocking and rolling. So, Courtney, as we kind of wrap this up, any final thoughts to share with the listeners?
I would just share with the listeners, it's a great opportunity as we wind down 2024 and step into 2025. If you are a person that lives or works in Missouri and you are considering agencies to donate to at the end of the year, Newhouse has a 70% tax credit. So 70 cents on the dollar for people who live or work in Missouri who donate $100,000 to $100,000 to Newhouse. You get that 70% tax credit, which is a huge benefit to people. In addition to that, you, depending on your tax class or category, you also get your federal benefits, and we can send information. It's on our website, newhousekc.org. That gives people a little bit more information, but know that your gift will go straight to the front lines to help the families that we are serving, where home, again, was not a safe place. So if you can imagine yourself being in their shoes, and imagine the difference that your contribution will do, things like provide therapy, provide legal services, provide snacks at night. We serve 3 hot meals a day. We have a expert culinary trained chef on staff because we believe that food is medicine. We want people to see and feel their worth and their dignity while they're with us and be able to heal from the inside out.
And if I recall, that's a Chicago culinary chef. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, Chicago trained.
So get on out there, take participation within the drives that we have to offer. You can go to the website and see where you can also help out. And that tax credit, I mean, if you're a business owner, that's a pretty good trade on donating to a great cause. So for more information on the Core Experience podcast, please go to corebank.com/podcast, or you can email coreexperience@corebank.com with any maybe nonprofits or banking topics that you would like to cover in the future, and we will do our best to get that on the show. Courtney, Jacqueline, as always, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. And we are so incredibly grateful for the support of Core Bank and making our mission possible. So without partners like you, we wouldn't be able to say yes to the families who need us. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us on again.
And to everybody else, we will talk to you on a future podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Core Experience, your connection to community, business, and the people who make it all happen. For more details, go to corebank.com/podcast or email coreexperience@corebank.com. Brought to you by Core Bank, member FDIC.